Well, we were lucky in the sense that while Rick was unconscious,
comatose,
in hospital, we actually had something to be getting on with, otherwise we'd have gone mad, you know, just wondering, is this guy going to live, is he going to die or whatever, you know. But we had drum tracks down on tape, we had things to do, so we just made a decision, like the day after we heard the news of the accident, that we were going to go straight back in the studio and get on with it. There was no point of us hanging around the waiting room of some hospital. It's like, you know, you kind of go a bit mental. So we just went back to the studio and got on with it, and we just literally waited for the phone to ring and see what was going on.
Yeah, it was good that they did that, because when I first went to hospital, they said, "Oh, you'll be in here for at least 6 months. You know, you can forget about the band, you can forget about this, that, and the other." So I was out of the hospital within 3.5 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that, I was back in Holland working with the band again. So I never really let myself sort of get down or depressed, you know.
You never thought you weren't going to come back?
Well, it wasn't really like that. The band wouldn't let me leave.
You've got to come back and finish this, yeah.
What do you think you'll go in?
Yeah, so.
Well, I understand that you started, even in the hospital, started working on how you were going to do this, how you were going to actually manipulate this.
Well, I broke my right arm really badly. So what they had to do, they had to put this sort of big piece of foam rubber at the bottom of the bed so I could push against it, you know, so I didn't slide down the bed. So I had my stereo set up, started listening to some of the music that I'd been listening to before, and I realized, tapping on this piece of foam, that, you know, maybe I could make something of this. And that is, you know, sort of exactly what I did. I just figured out the pedal sort of system to play what my left arm used to play.
He's the only man in rock and roll with a foam drum kit.
I understand you have like 2 drum kits, actually.
Yeah, I have a series of pads which I play with my right hand, and then exactly the same sort of sounds on the floor with a series of foot pedals. So as you say, it's like two drum kits, yeah.
Now, there was a lot of other things that were going on, like in the making of Hysteria, that took so long, but you do take your time in between records to come out with a quality product.
Yeah, that'd be an understatement.
Okay, so the other things that happened during Hysteria, other than Rick's accident.
Oh my God, have you got 3 hours?
Hey, come on, we got time. We're not off yet. No,
what happened? We started off with one producer. It didn't work out.
Jim Steinman.
Yeah, so we scrapped all that. We started then working with Mutt's engineer, and that semi-worked out, and some of that stuff actually got used. Then Mutt kind of drifted back in on the project. And between him starting and us finishing, I got mumps. He had a car accident and shattered his knee and was in hospital. Actually, we were working out keyboard parts and guitar things with a keyboard set up next to his bed in a hospital. So we were working even when we, you know, were supposedly not being able to work. We were actually being pretty constructive all the time.
I heard that he had heard some of the bed tracks that you had done and said, you can do better, that you can really do a lot better than this.
Well, what we had like, we weren't being as adventurous as we maybe should have been. And he said, this is okay, but we can take it a load further. Yeah. And like, you know, he'll suggest things like at the end of Gods of War, for example, instead of just having a guitar ride out, that we throw Thatcher and Reagan and Gorbachev or whatever it was on the end of it, and bombs and explosions, just to kind of liven it up a little bit. And it was a good decision, especially for live as well, because we use that bit on tour, and it makes for a really effective part of the lighting show as well.
Is a producer almost like a 6th or extra member of the band?
Can be. Referee.
I think with Matt probably more than other producers. He just sort of takes the bull by the horns, and, you know, sort of everything that goes down on tape, you know, he'll sort of have a say in what actually, you know, what notes are played, how it's played, you know.
That's his job. A job of a producer is to bring out the best in a band and push them to, you know, I'm a better singer because of Mutt. That's a fact, you know, and I'm really glad for all the experience I've had working with him. As much as half the time I could throttle the guy.
Yeah, me too.
Just like, do it again, do it again. It's like a train, you know. But the fact is that most producers sit around with their feet up, reading Country Life and smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, saying, yep, that's a take. And like, there's no effort in doing that. You know, we could make an album in 2 days on that kind of standard, but we wanted to create something that is bigger and better than that.
With the track hysteria, what went into this with Mutt? What sort of process did you go through?
To be quite honest, I can't remember any one particular song because it's all a big mishmash until it comes out at the end to me. And all I do is go in and sing over a backing track that I know everybody else has worked damn hard doing, and I'm gonna work damn hard to try, because I have to sell the thing. I'm the vocalist. The vocal sells the song as such, so I have to put my salesman's coat on.
I always thought it was the drums that sold.
This is truly